Hi, and welcome to Bike Cleveland's Bike Smarts educational series. Today we'll be going over the ABCs of cycling, 26 tips to get you ready to get on the bike and start riding today. We're going to go over all 26 letters of the alphabet with tips and resources and a guide to help you get started on riding your bike. So let's get started. First letter of the alphabet is the letter A. A is for air. So I want to show you a few items that will get air in your tire, because you need air in your tire. You cannot ride your bike with a flat tire. You can have a pump where this is on your bicycle. You can carry it with you. Here's one like that. Here's also one like this, where you can carry it on your bicycle. You can also, I recommend this at home, a floor pump. The floor pump will have a gauge on it where you can see exactly how much pressure you're putting into your tire. Now you're probably asking, well, how much pressure do I need to put in my tire? It is written on the side of the tire. It will say inflate to blah, blah, blah PSI. And that blah, blah, blah is a number. It will say 60, 85, 100 PSI, depending on the tire and the type of tire it is. That's how you know how much to put in, because it is written on the side. So A is for air. B is for brakes. You want to make sure that you can stop when you are riding your bike, because if you cannot stop, that's just going to be all bad. So some bikes will have a brake pad. This is a brake pad, and you want to check to make sure it is. And if you see this one, how it is curved, this is not a good wear and tear on this bicycle pad right here. You want to make sure it's even. You also want to make sure, now you see how much of the rubber is remaining. You do want some rubber remaining on your brake pad, because from just like if you were driving a regular car, metal to metal grinding together, that's not going to work either. So B is for brakes. C is for chain. A, B, C is for chain. You want to have a bicycle with a good and in working order chain. It means that it can move freely. There's no thing sticking into it before you ride. And if it's rusty, it can ride when you're rusty. If it's really rusty and corroded, you're going to have a challenge while you're riding your bike. So look into and make sure your chain is on your bicycle before you go riding. It may sound silly, but when you're taking your bicycle in and out of the car, if you need to, or for whatever reason, the chain can just get off the track, and then you want to make sure your chain is on. C is for chain. D is for don't do drugs, kids. D is for don't do drugs, because you don't want to be like somebody who is a very famous cyclist who unfortunately lost his medals and whatnot because they found out that he was doping. There's no reason for you to enhance your body with extra additives. Just don't do drugs, kids. E, and speaking of don't do drugs, E is for the engine, which is you. You are the engine. So I usually have a mirror to show that you are the engine. Treat your body well. You don't need to add additives into your body to ride your bike. So E is for engine. Take care of you first and foremost. Take care of the engine, because you are the engine. F. F is for fenders. Fenders here. Fenders will keep your back dry and keep the front. If you have a front fender on the front wheel, and then this will go right on the back fender. This clips right onto the seat post right here. Let me get this together. This will clip right onto the seat post right here so that your wheel is right here, and any spray that's coming up will go right up underneath here. Oh, that's gross, right? Because that's the dirt from underneath on the ground. So when it's raining, that dirt, that rain that's coming from the sky, that's relatively clean. That's not going to hurt you, but it's the rain and the water that's on the ground that's kicking back up that's going to cause you to have a line of dirt, usually on the back of your back. And if you are riding somewhere, you just don't want a line of dirt on your back. So that's what a fender is for, to keep your back clean. G. G is for gears. These are what the gears look like. G is for gears. A lot of people may ask, well, if I have a bike, what gear do I need to be in? How many gears is on your bike? And questions about gears. The thing is, gears will help you ride a bike, especially up an incline. When you have these chain rings on the back of your wheel, the larger, as you can see the difference here, the larger the chain ring, the easier it is to climb on an incline. So if you have a very jumbo, gigantic chain ring in the back, you should be able to climb easily. So gears is what help you to keep a steady cadence when you're riding your bicycle. The optimal cadence when they want you to ride is between 80 to 90 RPMs, revolutions per minute, which is how many times your revolutions per minute, how many times you're going around that wheel, that circle while you're riding. And so when you're riding, you want to have an optimal cadence when you're riding. Just, you want to be steady fletty, right? Steady and go with the flow. Now, when you're going up an incline, you might need to change it so it can be easier when you go up the incline, or when you're going down an incline, maybe you want to go a little faster, or you just want to coast. So that's what gears can help you do. Keep in mind that not all bicycles have gears. There are some bicycles that have one gear and some, one gear, fixed gear, and you just have to ride your bicycle. So G is for gears. You can have 1, you can have 30. It really doesn't matter, and it's up to you, the comfort level what you are comfortable with riding at. So G is for gears. H is for helmet hair, specifically helmet hair, because you can only get helmet hair if you are wearing a helmet. So when you're wearing a helmet, your hair will be smashed down and you definitely will get helmet hair. You want to make sure when you are wearing a helmet that it is sitting level onto your head. You can do the 2-finger test here, where you can see between the top of the helmet and your eyebrows, you have about 2 finger width space between. You just don't want the helmet like all the way up here, and you definitely don't want the helmet all the way down there. And when you have straps on the side of the helmet, because the helmet's not going to work if it's not strapped. So if you have again, your 2 fingers, your straps on the side should come to, let me unstrap so you can see. Okay, so you can see there is a adjustment right here, knob. So when you put your helmet on, this knob should sit right snug up underneath your earlobe. So that's where you get the 2 right here. And you take these still 2 fingers and you should be able to put them in between the strap and your chin, and you shouldn't be too tight or shouldn't be too loose. So that is, again, a 2-finger test here. 2, 2, 2. H is for helmet hair. And as you see, helmet hair. Specifically have helmet hair. But you would rather have helmet hair and be alive. So helmet hair. I is for inner tube. Of course, you can't ride a bike. Well, you can, because they do make tubeless wheels nowadays. They do make those. But a typical bicycle, especially an old school bicycle, will have an inner tube. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know what size inner tube? Because when you go to the bicycle store to purchase a new inner tube for your bicycle, that's the first thing they're going to ask you. Well, what size do you need? You just can't say, I don't know. It's written on the side of your tire, what size inner tube can fit inside of the tire. So this is a 700 by 19 to 26. So that means in between 19 and 26, this inner tube will be able to fit. Now, knowing what size inner tube is important, and also knowing the valve type is important. That's what dropped. The valve type is important because there's two different valve types with an inner tube. You have a Schrader inner tube, which looks like a typical car, the wheels on your car, it looks like a typical car valve. So there you go with a Schrader right here. Or you also have a Presta inner tube, Presta valve. And the reason why I can remember Presta, because it's P for pretty, but you would need to twist it to open it and to close it. So it's a little more in depth. You might find these inner tube valves on a road bike right here. So P, Presta, inner tube. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer so you can see, because you would open it and close it. So that's how that one. And then Schrader, typical car valve. So that's I for inner tube. J is for the joy that you will be having while you're riding your bicycle. I have a picture of a sunshine, and it just happened to say Jamaica. Joy and Jamaica goes together. But just have fun while you're on your bike. If you're not having fun, well, why do it? So J is for joy. Make sure you're having fun. And if you are a Bike Cleveland member, we greatly appreciate your support of our organization. And if you are not a Bike Cleveland member, now is the time I'm going to ask that if you find our content and our information valuable to you and your family and your friends, please consider joining our organization. Our organization is only as strong as the people who support us, which is you. So J is for joy, and join Bike Cleveland so you can be happy as the sun, like this Jamaica sun. K is for, before I forget J, again, join. So this is a nice handy dandy guide, Bike Cleveland guide, because this is what we do to share information to the public. K is for keep right, pass to the left. Now, I'm not for sure which way this arrow will go on the camera here. However, if you are riding your bike, the law states for you to ride to the right as practical. So you're riding to the right of the road. When you're riding to the right, cars are passing you on the left. And the same for you. If you are riding and you are approaching a cyclist ahead of you and it's time for you to pass on the left. So keep right, pass on the left. That is K. L for lights. Make sure that you have lights on your bike. You can have lights on your person, but also lights on your bike. A white light in the front and a red light in the rear. That is the minimum for the state to require when you are riding your bike at night. When you're also riding your bike about an hour before the sun rises and about an hour before the sun sets. So it's a little gray area of, is it light, is it dark? You just want to be on the safe side and be lit up. Also in inclement weather, when it is raining, it's usually darker, so have some lights. And sometimes you can just run your lights 24/7 for as long as you're on your bike. It's not going to hurt, but definitely you want to have lights in the nighttime and in inclement weather. So L is for lights. M is for multi-tool. You want to ensure you have a multi-tool on your bicycle, on your person when you are riding. This is a nice handy dandy multi-tool with different size Allen wrenches. different flathead, Phillip, and also, ooh, more fancy with a few, I don't know what these are called right now. Sockets, are these called sockets? A few sockets that you may need on your bicycle. And even more so, a handy dandy tool right there. So this is nice. M for multi-tool. Any type of tool which will be good. I have this type of multi-tool, which you can also use to take off the wheels, or this type of multi-tool. It depends on your bicycle also as well. And one final multi-tool right here. So these are all various types of multi-tools. So you want to definitely have a multi-tool on you. Now, even if you don't know how to use the multi-tools, if you are in a situation such as you need to change a flat tire and maybe you're on the side of the road or a trail, another cyclist may pass you and ask you, do you need any help? And 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but 9 times out of, or maybe 8 times out of 10, I don't really know. Let me just not put a statistics number on there. But generally, people are friendly. Cyclists are friendly people. So if you have your tools, you have your own bicycle inner tube, then if you don't know how to do it, usually someone will offer their assistance and will help you. But if you have your own tools, that would just be great, because the inner tube, for example, for one, as I mentioned, inner tubes are specific to your size bicycle and your size tire. So if someone is assisting you, they will have a different bike. So their inner tube is not going to fit, more than likely, it's not going to fit in your bicycle, and your inner tube is not going to fit in their bicycle, vice versa. So having tools and equipment on you, on your bike and on your person is helpful. It's the next step into, at least the first step of getting assistance if you need assistance. So M is for multi-tool. N is for nutrition. Now, you're riding your bicycle. It is a physical activity. You're going to be using your muscles, and when you use your muscles, you may get hungry. You may get thirsty. So eat before you're hungry. Drink before you're thirsty. Have these with you. Keep these on you. Keep a snack in your pannier or in your bag. This snack will last until November of 2020 of this year. But snacks like this may last for about 6 months. So you can keep them in your bag, and you just never know that you come into a situation where you're really, really hungry. You're out far in the country land. There's no store for miles on end. Again, you have yourself a snack, but carry some snacks with you. Eat before you're hungry, drink before you're thirsty. Carry some water. You want to replenish, especially when it's really hot in summer days. You want to make sure you stay hydrated. Also, another thing with the water and the water bottle, in the event that you should need some water to clean a wound or injury, there you go. You got some water. You can go ahead, clean the wound. And then if you're thirsty, you can also drink it as well. So N is for nutrition. Eat before you're hungry, drink before you're thirsty. O is for oil. So as I mentioned, that you want to make sure you have your chain ready, right? Well, you need oil for the chain. Tri-Flow is a good lubricant. You want to make sure you have specific bicycle lubricant, bicycle oil. WD-40 is great in a pinch. However, it's not bicycle specific oil. There's bicycle specific oil for like winter riding, because you got the water and you got the ice, and there's extra when you're winter riding. So look to see the specific bicycle oil that you need for your bicycle, but definitely oil your chain. Oil your chain every so many miles, maybe it's like every 100 miles or so, but also definitely after you've come in from a rainy or snowy ride. You want to get off of the water, the salts, of the dirt, and then lube it up so that it can stay. You want your chain to be working at its optimal peak. And so oil will do that. O is for oil. P is for patch kit. As I mentioned earlier, remember, you want to have your tools with you. A patch kit is one of these things you definitely need to have when you are riding your bike. A patch kit will include patches. It would also include a file. This is a metal file, but it will also include a file because it's rubber. So what this is, a patch is like rubber, and then your inner tube also is rubber, and so you just can't put rubber on top of rubber. It's going to slip. So that's what the file will do. You would rough it up a little bit so that it can bond and stick together, and it sticks together with some rubber solvent or rubber solution or rubber cement or just bike patch glue, basically. So there's usually instructions in your patch kit. It tells you what to do, which you can't really, oh, it does. It tells you what to do, which is to, like I said, rough it up. You want to put the glue on larger than the area that has a hole, because normally the hole is a small little hole. So you want to put the glue on a little bit larger than the area. You want to wait 5 minutes for the glue to set. A lot of times these special adhesive glues, it needs to cure, and so they can really work. So 5 minutes will do that, and then you slap the patch on, and then you'll take the back end off, and you should be good to go with your patch kit. And you want to make sure you carry it with you. Now, technology is always changing, and so that's the old school patch kit, which is great. You know it's going to work because it's just going to work. However, some people who may be in a rush or whatever, but they have these, it's called a super patch kit, which basically is already self-adhesive. That's what this is. It's a self-adhesive patch kit. The glue is already on there. All you do, you still would need, it still comes with some sandpaper, so you still need to rough it up, but there's no glue because the glue is already on there. You just stick it on like a sticker. So this could work in a pinch. I usually recommend for you to take your old patch kit, your old inner tube with you. If you happen to, now you can do two things. If you happen to get a flat on the road, you can do two things. You have your patch kit, you can repair it right there on the road. And remember, we have air that I talked about earlier, so you can fill it back up with the air. Or you can just put a whole new, what I say? You can either, you have your inner tube. You can either patch it and repair it and fill it up, or you can just replace the inner tube while you're out on the road and take that inner tube back with you and patch it when you're back at the house. I hope I make sense with that. Made some sense with my explanation there. So you can do one of two things when you're out. You have a flat tire, fix it and repair it right there on the spot. That's what the patch kit is for. And then you put air in it so you can get back rolling on the road, or you just replace it with a new inner tube, put the air in, and then take the old one with you. You don't want to litter, and then replace it at home. Did I mention about CO2 cartridges, about also replacing the air into your inner tube? Back to A, I'm backtracking a little bit, but I can't remember if I talked about this, but this is a CO2 cartridge, and similar to a pump, this is just a quick psh. There's a valve adapter that you would have, and you would quickly psh, put inner tube into your bicycle tire inner tube with CO2. It's quick, it's easy, you can get back rolling really fast. However, when you get back home, you want to deflate, get the CO2 out because it's not air, and put air into your tire. So that's the only downfall with a CO2 cartridge, because you want to have air in your tire. Got the O, got the P for the patch kit, and then I have Q for quick releases. Some bicycles will have a quick release. Some bicycles will have one. Some bicycles will have three. You will find them either on the seat post, and this is what a quick release lever looks like. You can find them on the seat post, or you can find them on the wheel itself. And so what it does is it allows you, especially if it's on the seat post, it will allow you to adjust the height of the seat very quickly. You will open it up and the seat will be able to raise and lower, and then you can close it. And as you see, there is a, okay, I don't know if you can see. There you go. Can you see? It says close right there. You can close, and then the other side, oh, the other side says open. I didn't even realize that. So one side says open, one side says close. So you'll know that it's closed because, okay, how can I do this? It'll be closed. This is closed. This is open. All this right here is open. This is closed. So we're going to pretend like this is the tire right here. And so this is closed because it's in line. And so when you're, as I mentioned, on the seat post, quick release is there so that you can quickly raise and lower the seat. Or if it's on the tire, where it will make it easier for you to quickly open up the quick release, remove the wheel so that you can change your inner tire, change your flat, or to transport it. You can take the wheel off because some vehicles are large enough that the whole bicycle can fit in the back of the trunk. But because of the handlebars and because of the wheel, sometimes it's just easier to take the wheel off, and then it could go into the trunk of your vehicle because of a quick release. So that is what Q is for, the quick release lever. Make sure that it is closed before you ride your bicycles. At R, I almost skipped one. R is for rest. Rest. Take a rest. I know you may enjoy bicycling. It is a great activity, but it does cause a lot of wear and tear on your body. So at any time, take a rest. Your body will thank you for it. S is for saddle, such as a saddle right here. Now this saddle is a road bike saddle because of the narrow design of it. So make sure that your saddle is comfortable. They make saddles for different types of people, and I say different types of people as far as men and women. Men saddles are different than women's saddles. We have different makeup down there. So usually you can tell a woman's saddle, a female saddle, because it's cut out right here in the center. So this really isn't a female saddle, is it? It's not cut out in the center. Also, you can also always tell a male saddle because when it is sideways, the men's saddle normally has a nose dive. So this one doesn't have a distinct nose dive going down, but that's how the two quick ways you can tell between a female saddle and a men's saddle. Cut out in the center for the women, nose dive right here for the men. Now they also have different types of saddles for the different bicycles that you have, because a road saddle is different than a hybrid saddle, is different than a mountain bike saddle, is different than a cruiser bike saddle. So find the saddle that works for you. You might want to have a favorite manufacturer of saddles, but the thing is, be comfortable, because if you're not comfortable on the bike, guess who's not riding anymore? Because you're not comfortable. So if you're comfortable, you're going to ride more. Saddle is one of the major things that usually gets people from not riding because it causes pain. So also wear some shorts. Shorts is one thing that will also prevent pain down there because the shorts have pads in them. Even though you have a saddle that is specifically designed for you, so this is a woman's saddle for a woman's, but you still want to wear some bicycle shorts that have the pads built into them. It'll be a big difference between a quick ride in the neighborhood versus a 30, 60, even 100-mile ride. You will notice the difference between your saddle and your shorts. So S is for saddle. T is for traffic. Yes, traffic. Just like all of the signs on the roadway that you see for motor vehicles, same for cyclists. We are to follow the same rules, laws, and regulations as a motor vehicle because cyclists are considered motor vehicles and we are to follow all traffic laws and rules. Now, as a cyclist, we do get a little bit of a special clearances, I guess, variations. I use that word, special variations when you ride your bike. One of those variations is you can ride 2 abreast, which just means that you and your friend can ride together in the same lane together, 2 abreast. Cars can't do that because the regular travel lane for a vehicle is size for 1 car. But as a cyclist, we are smaller. So now 2 of us can fit in there. So that's the law, 2 abreast. You can't be like 3 going across 4 or taking up the whole lanes. That's not the law. The law says you can be 2 abreast. And at sometimes it is safer for you to be 2 abreast because you're making yourself bigger and visible to all the other road users instead of being single file. Now, if it's a lot of traffic, I still would be, in my opinion, if there's a lot of traffic, you're still safer 2 abreast. If it's a single lane road, perhaps you can be together single file. You'll get a feel when you're riding your bicycle of what feels comfortable for you, but at all times follow all of the traffic laws. T is for traffic. U is for U-lock. U-lock is one of the preferred locks in the system because it is very strong. It is made of, this says hardened steel shackle. It's just heavy and it's going to take a lot for someone to steal your bike if you have a U-lock. Now, any lock is better than no lock. So if this all you have is a cable lock that you picked up from the Dollar Tree, by all means, a lock is better than no lock. However, if you come back after locking your bike with one of these cable locks and your bike is gone because you've seen that your cable lock has been cut, that is why. These type of cables are very easy to cut with a bolt cutter. And I'm sure those bolt cutters are not that heavy or big, as someone can just carry it in their bag or in their book bag, come by, see your bike, spot it, snip it really quick, and then be on their way, roll in with your bike. Now this is a little bit more in depth. They would need a grinder to cut this off. Hopefully they're wearing safety goggles from using the grinder. They need electricity to cut this off. It is just a big to do. So more than likely a thief will see your bike and don't believe that it'll be an easy target and keep on moving. So some of the key tips for when locking your bike: always lock up the frame. Always lock up the frame. The frame costs more than anything on your bike, so lock up the frame. Second, you can lock up the back wheel. So now you can lock up the frame and the back wheel together when you're locking it up to a pole, because the back wheel does cost more than the front wheel. So at least if anything, they're going to steal something, they can only steal the front wheel, and you can replace that. But you can also do, if your bicycle has quick release levers, you can take off the front wheel, bring it around to the back, and now you lock up together with your U-lock the frame, the back wheel, and the front wheel. Also remember to take off any accessories that you have on your bicycle, because if you can just easily put them on, someone can just easily take them off. So U is for U-lock. V is for visibility. When you're riding your bike, you want to make sure that you are visible at all times. You might want to have an ankle bracelet. It can serve for 2 purposes. If you're wearing pants and you don't want your pants to get stuck in the chain, So you will put this on your right leg so that you can cinch your pants and it won't get stuck in the chain and get all tore up and greasy. So that is one thing right there. You can always wear a safety vest. You want to be visible, so you're in the nighttime. So put this on last, put this on over your book bag or any thing that you're carrying so that you can be visible. You can always be creative. If you're fancy with the sewing machine or needle and thread, you can make your own visible items with purchasing some reflective tape from the department store, from a hiking store, camping store, or in those departments of the stores, and glue, stick, sew, make your own items that is visible to you. So V is for visibility. W is for wrenching. I have a wrench right here too. It's a real wrench too. Wrenching. The term, what's the term I like to call it? What's the term? Well, when you're wrenching on your bike, you're actually like repairing your bike. I can't remember what the term right now. It's called wrenching. You're wrenching on your bike. Someone else can wrench on your bike. You can wrench on your bike, fixing your bike. That is what it's called. So W is for wrench, and you want to wrench on your bike, which just means you are doing your repairs on your bike. Remember, you have your multi-tools. And so when you're actually not riding your bike, maybe you want to get your bike up together, do some upgrading, do some repairs on your bike. Whatever you're doing on your bike, whatever repairs you're doing, you're wrenching on it. You're wrenching on your bike. W is for wrench. X is for extra loud. Was I extra loud, people? You want to be loud. You want to be extra loud when you are riding your bike, especially when it's time to pass somebody. Remember the letter K, keep to the right, pass on the left. This is when this will come in handy, where you want to be extra loud when you are passing someone. You can have a bell. You can use your voice, or, oh, it's not going to work because of course it's not going to work. But you can have a bell. Of course, smiley face bells, because you're riding your bike and you're having a good time, but you also want to alert people that you are around. And so, yes, it doesn't want to work because it worked before the video and now it doesn't want to work. But extra loud, be extra loud when you're passing people, which then Y is for yield to the pedestrians. Yield to the pedestrians, especially when you are entering into a path. The pedestrians were there first. They're walking their dogs, they're walking their babies, they're walking themselves, they're just enjoying nature. So pedestrians always have the right of way. Even when they're not on the trail, if they're on the sidewalk, pedestrians will have the right of way. So you want to not hit them first and foremost. And because you are riding, you are going at a faster pace. So you need to yield to the pedestrians. And so that means slow down, let them pass on you when the coast is clear, pass on the left if you need to. But also remember, when it's time to pass, use your voice, use your bell, make your intentions known that it's time to pass, and then enjoy your ride. Z, last but certainly not least, we went through all the letters, and now, let me come this way. What do you think Z would be for? Dun, 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 dun. Go to sleep. Get some rest. You have done a good job of riding, going maybe across the city, across the county, across the country. Give your body some rest and go to sleep. And do it all over again tomorrow. That is the ABCs of cycling. I hope that you have learned something new and can motivate you to get out and ride with 26 tips of getting on the bike from A to Z. And if you have any questions or any concerns, please let us know. But you have been watching Bikes Cleveland's Bike Smart series. I am Deltrice Daniels, the Membership and Outreach Manager at Bike Cleveland, also a league certified licensed cycling instructor. So I bring all this information to you in hopes and encouraging you to get out and ride with your ABCs. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and get out and ride.